broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Look at this photograph. Every time I hear it makes me laugh. What's going on, guys? We are coming to you live with the American Crime After Show, episode 9. I have some amazing hosts with me, and remember to subscribe if you are watching us on YouTube. Leave some comments below if you want to join in on the conversation, and follow us on Twitter, SoundCloud, basically every social media platform. If you want to follow me specifically, you can follow me at Nicholas Grava on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. And for you?
Hello everyone, my name is Lindsey Douglas. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Doug Ventures.
Hi guys, my name is Erica Renee Davis, and you can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at Erica Renee D. That's Erica with a C.
Woo. Hey guys, my name's Jon Manganello, John without an H. You can follow me at Johnny Mangs, that's on Instagram and Twitter, or at johnmanganello.com. Because I'm not self-involved or anything.
Right. So fancy. Listen, guys, we had an intense episode that we just watched, although it seems that every episode is intense. I don't think we've had one that has not been yet. We want to get started with one of the biggest takeaways from the episode, which is Aubry and what we learned at the end of the episode. Now, I was thinking we were going to learn something when they were in the court and they were doing the preliminary hearing.
Teamwork.
And thank you. And then they took it in a whole nother direction, and we got a confession out of Aubry. Now, I'm still left wondering if it's the truth. I don't know. I really don't.
I think it is.
You do?
I don't know.
Her story was too tight for it to be a lie, I think.
Very detailed, specific.
And also, there was a foreshadowing to this last week when Aubry was like, well, maybe it wasn't Carter.
His hand, maybe, or they won't find his prints on the gun.
I think
I
think and I hope that it's the truth, because I like that this show, we've talked about this before, is not so crimey. It's not such a crime show. And what I like is we haven't gotten like the gritty details of what actually went down. So I don't want to hear conflicting stories. I know that sounds weird, but I like how this isn't a crime show. I hope this is the truth.
Well, is she telling the truth about her brother too? Because she even brought that in, and he had such a strong reaction of like, what? Like, she's lying. So I'm just confused. Well, I don't know if I should trust her or not.
If she started to go away from the brother story, then she would automatically be labeled as a liar. So I think she has to own it, whether true or not, for her testimony to be anything.
I'm still leaning on the fact that her story about her brother molesting her is true. Like I
think so too.
You know, again, I mean, of course, it's a show, and the show is meant to keep us confused and keep us having different conversations. But I definitely believe that Aubry's brother and his friends molested her, and I do believe, like you said last week, that's why she maybe started adopting a life of misbehaving. And I believe Aubry's confession. A couple of weeks ago, Carter made a confession, and it just kind of went in one ear and went out the other.
Exactly.
You know, like it was like, I did it, and
that's a good point.
That's a clear decipher of one that was saying it to saying it, and it's sure that. And also, can we talk about? And you brought it up. That was one take, one shot, never cut, of her giving her testimony.
Oh yeah, we were dead silent, and I was just so like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's telling us with the gritty details. I was completely like caught up in the moment.
And also the acting in that scene is just phenomenal. I think that actress, and I don't recognize her.
Me neither.
But I think she's phenomenal, and the woman playing her mother has to sit there and hear these things from her daughter about her sexual past and how she trades sex for drugs. I mean, well, that was intense, and they took that in one take. That's crazy to me.
But I did love when her mother, Ruth, said, I'm staying.
Yeah.
When everyone else left the room, she said, I'm staying. And you know what? I'm sure we've all questioned where her, where she lies, what her intentions are. And for that, you know what? I saw a real true mother that's about to sit through it, good or bad.
That's right. A mother's love is unconditional, undying, unwavering. I appreciate that, Ruth. I think Matt and Gwen, for the first time, well, not for the first time, but for the first time from Aubry or from someone else's perspective other than the defense attorneys, we really saw how involved they were into their alternative lifestyle. And whether or not Aubrey's lying still is, unknown, but I like the way she was like, Matt was a drug dealer. We traded sex for drugs. Gwen slept around. I mean, she laid it all out there. And that was a very true, good, clear, memorable part of the show for me.
She said you can check the security camera.
Yeah.
I bought a PBR.
Yeah.
I bought a PBR.
First of all, you kill 2 people, you go buy a PBR.
PBR?
She's gotta relax.
You know what?
I like PBR, actually.
I don't know about
Do you?
It's not even PBR, just a beer in general.
It's because you're from the South.
Well, I never had a PBR until I moved out here.
It's like a Southern beer.
Really?
I never had.
I don't drink
really?
PBR.
I'm not really a beer
PBR makes
drinker.
me think of college.
I feel like cowboys drink it.
PBRs, yeah, well.
So sidetracked, I'm sorry.
Anyways, yeah. So basically, this is totally changing up the whole game for everyone, for almost every character we see. I mean, now Carter and Hector, where are they like? That's why on the go ahead.
Oh, no, I don't want to interrupt you.
No, please.
No, that's why I'm just I'm not quick to believe a hardcore drug addict right away. And then with Hector's testimony, it's like he was also so dead set on it. So I feel like obviously we are missing some important parts, and we're kind of I don't want to disregard him because
what was he so dead set on?
On that Carter shot him and he was like giving him a ride. Like he's banking his entire family's future on him giving that testimony.
But that's why he's doing it for the future. I don't think he's doing it because it's the truth. He's doing it because it's his way out.
And maybe he's saying Carter / Aubry, that group of people.
Oh, yeah.
Killed.
Well, he seemed dead set on it, on his story, regardless. Hector did, yeah.
Was he there?
No, in the court, remember? And then it was like a flash forward scene to him go back to jail.
I know.
Oh, you mean, was he at the crime scene? Or what
was he? Yeah, was he there to witness the crime, or was he just parked outside?
I don't know.
I think he was just parked outside.
That's why I feel like he might not know.
Yeah.
But they were not both there at the same time, though. In her story, he was at Everett's house, and she went. She got the gun and went back to deal with because. I mean, let's talk about the story that she said was going on in that house and how racist that they were acting. And she was about to go, and at first she said she brought that gun for self-defense.
Yeah. Wait, who?
Yeah.
No, she said that she shot Matt in self-defense.
But he said, well, did you bring the gun there in order to kill them, with intent to kill? And she said, no, I was bringing it because I know it can get rowdy and that crowd can get rowdy.
You're right.
Oh, and by the way, Mark and those photos that Russ found in Mark's old house.
Yeah.
Those vile photographs from the war of them.
So obviously Matt had a lot of issues. I mean,
I'm sorry, I said Mark. I meant Matt.
Yeah, he had a lot of issues, a lot of post-traumatic stress syndrome, and then take it back to maybe 3 or 4 episodes ago, where he and his other soldiers were, they had a body and they had a black face on the body. So his history has shown that he has issues with other people of other races, if not just from Barb, from the pictures from when he was serving. So Aubrey's story, to me, like her thread weaves in and out of everything that we've been shown, from how Barb raised them, to Matt's war pictures, to how Matt was pissing on a corpse. So, I know that it's sometimes hard to believe a drug addict or whatever, but I've always been a firm believer that you can learn anything, even from an idiot. Like no one is too smart to learn from someone who is, I guess, quote unquote, beneath them. So she might have her issues, but that doesn't mean that she's lying about this.
Right.
Now, where do you? I agree with you 100%. Where do you guys think that she wants this to go? So she sees the torn up picture, which is what motivates her.
I think that's of course, that's a motivation.
So what does she expect?
I
from
feel
this?
like she doesn't. When he broke up with her basically and was like over it, I think that she just lost all drive, and like that was what was keeping her going, was her like addiction to their love.
Because
so I feel like she doesn't
care.
The sign that she's like going in basically like, you don't want me, then I'm going to turn myself in because I'm nothing. That's like what I got.
But I also think that makes me feel like Aubry is telling the truth even more.
Maybe,
because the ripped up picture to me suggests he's pissed off that she is doing something, and by confessing to the crime, she's saying, you're right, you should be pissed off. I'm going to turn myself in.
Yeah.
See,
if that makes any sense.
What do you mean she's doing something?
Like she's saying, I'm not going to let Carter take the heat for this any longer.
Right.
I'm gonna go ahead and turn myself in.
If she's she's the one that actually did it.
It's like when someone breaks up with you and like you try to win them back by like impressing
doing
them.
whatever, posting pictures on social media, like look how sexy I am. That's
but
what
I
people do
think
now.
she's saying, exactly. I mean, different, But I think that she's saying, okay, he hates me.
Let me do this in honor. Let me show him how. Yeah, I think that is true, and I also wonder how much how much does he know? Does he know this whole story? Does he know that this is what happened? Carter?
Oh, that's a good.
Well, maybe he ripped up the photo because he found out she had sex for money.
Wait, how would he find that out though?
Because of the testimony.
Oh, I thought because of Ruth.
See, I think he ripped the photo up because I think that Ruth really got to him.
Yeah.
I think she spoke to him. I think Carter's looking for positive people in his life to influence him to do the right things. And whether it's Aubry or Aaliyah or now Ruth, I think he really wants to follow a positive example. And I really feel that Ruth's plea was so sincere and so authentic that it resonated with him. He's like, I want to, like, if I have to let her go to love her, or if I have to show her that I love her and let her go,
that's what it is.
So that's why I think he ripped the picture. I think he thinks this is his last ditch attempt to save Aubry's life.
He's doing it in love.
Here's the thing.
His intentions aren't necessarily bad.
Yeah, I don't think they're bad at all.
I think we both, in the scenes we saw that Carter immediately said, how is she? And Aubry immediately said, how is he? As soon as the opposite people came to talk to them. That was their first thing that they wanted to know. And I think that Ruth knew what she was doing, playing on the strength of, this is how we save her. You love her so much. You want the best for her.
Oh, yeah.
This is how we do it. And I think that's what convinced him. So now we're gonna move on from Aubry. We're gonna touch upon it, I'm sure, during all of that. We'd love to hear what you guys think about Aubry. If you think she's telling the truth or is she lying, leave it in the comments below. And now I'd like to touch upon Hector. Hector is someone who, in this situation, was looking like he was making it out fairly well. He was in witness protection. He's out of jail or the hospital. He was, oh my gosh, how cute.
Well, that's the thing. His little daughter, his girlfriend, they're so cute. And I feel like he has a lot to lose by going back to jail because now he's trying to rebuild their relationship with his girlfriend and his daughter. So that's why I'm curious to see what happens with him, because now that we're meeting his family, I'm more into him and his character, and that he's like trying to better himself.
And, and how sad was it that the girlfriend said to Hector, you're thinking too big. Why can't we just, basically take baby steps and
be regular.
Be regular. And I think that was a point where Hector probably felt emasculated. He has these big hopes and dreams for his baby's mama and for his child, and to have her, even though it was kind of in jest, to have her say, oh, you're dreaming too big.
I don't know, I kind of agree with her.
Well, see, I strongly disagree. Like, why does Hector have to think small just because he's in
jail?
But that doesn't mean anything. Like, you can have big hopes and dreams no matter how little.
Well, yeah, but first steps first. Like, he needs to get himself out, get his family together again, and then I think that's where I picked up from what she was saying.
There are definitely small baby steps that have to be taken, but that's you should be looking at the bigger picture. Like, why does someone who's had a checkered past not have the right to dream big?
Well, you know what? I have to say, I'm surprised I'm really going to take this side of it, but I have to agree with you only because when the girlfriend said, the specific line was, you didn't fail, you gave up.
You gave up.
And so in the aspect of, I agree, why can't he have big dreams? Absolutely he can, but if having those big dreams distract him or do not motivate him for actually getting things done or be able to check things off a checklist, sometimes you need to start one foot in front of the other.
That's what I thought when I was watching that scene. I was like, I understand what his girlfriend is. Is it his girlfriend?
I think
it's his baby mama girlfriend.
His baby mama.
I get what she's saying, because those people in your life who are like these big dreamers, but they don't actually get things done on like a very like concrete level. And I think she's just saying, no, like, it's about life. Like, all I want is to live a life here.
And she wants to be with him and build their lives together.
Maybe I'm just overly ambitious.
I think it's a middle ground.
I totally see what you're saying.
And I think what happens, again, once people are incarcerated or have problems with their families or drugs or whatever, we hold them to a high standard. And I really do applaud Hector for wanting to live in the mountains and have a job in technology.
Oh, yeah.
And I definitely understand that it has to be a baby step-by-step situation. But I think that we oftentimes look at people like Hector and say, oh, you're dreaming too big, go work at McDonald's. And I think that's a mentality that we really have to work at getting out of. That's just my thought.
I understand that. I really do.
I respectfully disagree with you guys.
I honestly think that, not in a corny way, everyone is right. I think having a big dream is important, but I think in the beginning, just having realistic goals to get there is also important. So I think it is a middle ground on that specific case. But his whole storyline is going to be quickly changed if Aubry's testimony is taken. What is his testimony then? Because
he was so close.
Do they not they contradict?
Well, do they?
I don't even know.
Yes, because he's putting the gun in Carter's hands. That's what his testimony is.
I get that.
Or placing him there.
Or placing him at the time
of the murder.
So if that's not true, these are one or the other. It's not going to be both.
No, that's a good point. I understand. But we didn't hear, in my opinion, we didn't hear enough from Hector.
True.
I think there could be some sort of like genuine misconceptions in Hector's mind or whatever. Like, that's because it cut to commercial break when he said, well, Carter Nix texted me, black. And that's all we heard of.
And how excited were we to see what the text was?
Yeah.
I think you said we're finally going to learn something.
And then commercials we come back from commercials and the trial, or that day of the trial is over. So I just wonder, maybe it's not as, maybe no one's lying here. Maybe some people are just mistaken about certain aspects of this crime. Going with the theme of what we've seen so far in this series, American Crime, like everyone has a different take, everybody has a different opinion. Who knows?
That would go exactly along with what we've been seeing so far. Now getting to the other person, we're getting to Tony and his situation. Talk about a hard scene to watch and shocking scene to watch. Didn't see it going
These scenes are just shocking. Like, you're kind of, I'm not really expecting, I mean, I'm always expecting something to happen, but then I feel like this whole show, every episode, there's something that just blows my mind, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that just happened.
So they're in what is a music class, I would say, and his friend Edgar is up playing the guitar, and he's are they getting rowdy, whatever you want to call it? I think they're just having fun. They're being, you know what I mean? They're expressing themselves in some sort of way, and he ends up taking some sort of physical action towards the music teacher, which the guards then jump in, get everyone on their knees, they grab him, and they have him in a headlock, and they don't let go.
Strangle him.
Yeah, they kill him.
And they strangle him to death.
They kill him.
Tony sees that.
Tries to help him.
Yeah.
And I just want to pause for a second and speak about the brilliance of John Ridley to have the foresight. I mean, of course, there was no way that he knew that what's happening actually this week with the Freddie Gray case and Baltimore would be airing the same week that this episode aired.
Oh my gosh.
But just the irony of being able to watch a show that's for entertainment and then turn on the news and see something that is almost identical. I just want to throw that out there. It's hard to watch. Like it's a
shocking coincidence.
Well, it's a confirmation on how relevant that this show is.
Very relevant.
That's what
it's
it
not
is.
even. I mean, it is a coincidence, but also it's not a coincidence because this stuff has
It's
been
been
as
happening.
of lately,
so it's like a trend now.
Yeah.
It's true. It does keep happening.
Well, yeah.
I think that's the first time
we're getting heavy.
we had a moment of
silence. Because it's just like, it's heavy and it's hard to turn on the news and it's just sad. Like, to just from one city to another, just, all these awful things that just keep happening. It's just over and over again.
And I just want to ask the question. I mean, they were kids in a music class, getting a little bit, as you said, rowdy. Did the corrections officers use excessive force? Like, was it,
absolutely.
And so,
He's dead.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like that kind of thing, that the fact that that's happening not only on the streets, but in the corrections facilities.
In a controlled facility where you would think they are trained to handle. If anything, would that not be the exact training if someone gets out of hand, how to deal with it? And I don't think how to deal with it is killing them. So what are they? What is the training process? What are they? I don't know.
And how do you have so many authority figures who are corroborating each other's stories each time? Like, why? Like, if you go kill somebody, I'm not covering up for you. Let me let you know. I don't care if we're coworkers or not. I'm not covering up for you. And it's very fascinating and sad and interesting at the same time that so many corrections officers and police officers adhere to the shield without bringing each other to the forefront and saying this person actually behaved badly. It's
I mean,
sad.
sometimes they do, though. I mean, it's not like they stick and have their jobs. Like, they get fired and they have to, like, move to other places, you know?
Well,
it's
and
not
I
like
mean,
they stick around.
I think it's also important to see, in some of these rallies and these marches, that some police are also marching in there against the overuse of force and things like that. So I don't know that it is so, cut hot, like high and dry, but I think it's just something that is becoming more relevant.
Yeah.
And yes, you're right, it was a coincidence, but also it's relevant into today's society. Also, this incident woke Tony up.
Yeah.
Because with this conversation with his father, at first he's sitting there and and to me, I'm reading body language like he's never had with his dad before. He's kind of slouching in the side and he's talking off and he's talking as if it was one of his friends in juvie or anything like that. And his dad's saying, I'm your father. I'm your father. I'm always going to be here. And he's saying, Tony says, I finally earned my respect.
Yeah.
And then he says, I'm not going to make it in here.
No, and I'm sure that has to do with him just seeing his best friend.
There was flashbacks. I don't know if you guys saw, there was flashbacks to that moment of his friend being strangled. He kept getting the flashbacks, which... How terrifying would that be?
Yeah.
Not knowing
gosh.
when something can be read right or wrong and what would happen to you.
Yeah, I mean, that's in a whole another season of American Crime. I know they're not going to deal with that because we only have 2 more episodes left. But wow, that's... I wish there was more on that in this episode, but I know it's not the center of the show.
So his father feels forced to... He tells his dad, you need to do something.
So then he does, or he tries.
He takes it into his, I think as any father would do.
Of course,
any parent would do.
Didn't his father, remember when last episode his father was saying, oh, maybe you should say that.
Yes.
Oh.
I kind of, that thought crossed my mind. Yeah, just maybe cover up for Hector. And so I'm wondering if worse comes to worse, he may say something or do something like that.
I had that thought also, but I think that was a moment of sort of fear and things like that brought that up. I don't think that I think he has an ethical compass that wouldn't allow him to do that.
Alonzo?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the moment where Tony said to his dad, you were proud of me, but that's different than what I need you to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important because this is the first fluid conversation we've seen father and son have, where they're both kind of expressing their most heartfelt, I guess, feelings.
The relationship is growing, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's growing, but...
Under strange circumstances.
No, very true. I think that's with everyone, and as even Barb had an amazing line when she said, I started this off, I was tired. I'm exhausted now. And then she went even further to say, at this point, I just want something done. I don't even, she almost disconnected from it. I think a lot of people are feeling that way. But specifically, Alonzo walks out, and he tries to go to was it the public defender? Is that who he presented?
Yeah,
to
the public defender.
Yeah.
The public defender has a caseload of 28 people, 28 kids, and he's
supposed to have a maximum of 15.
Yeah, again,
and he's got 28 cases.
Another flaw in our legal, our judicial system. It
is. It's unfortunate.
And he says, go get a private
attorney,
which are expensive.
Yeah, I mean, Alonzo was saying it could be up to $50,000, $100,000, and he tries to sell his shop, and the best he can get is $50,000.
Yeah.
He might need double that to pay
I'm wondering what the connection...
He doesn't have an income. So
right, you sell that, you're bottom lining. You have a fixed amount to live off of, and I don't think that's... But at that moment, like I said, I think he's just being a survivor, and he's trying to get his son out. I'm wondering what the connection is between the guy... what's his name?
Raul.
Yes, Raul and...
the guy he sold his brother?
The brother-in-law. Yeah.
Someone because he said, "Do you want me to go talk to Raul?" I'm wondering what their connection is. I think that's going to be something that's going to expand it a little bit more, also. But just a tough situation for both of them.
And I hate to keep bringing up all the flaws in society, but again, Alonzo doesn't really come from money, doesn't really have much money. All that he has is his business, and for someone who is wealthy, $100,000 is nothing. And so if you can afford the best representation, you probably have the better chance of getting out of prison and rehabbing. And so it's cyclical. Right. And, I hate it for people like Tony, who he might have a good heart, but if your family doesn't have any money, you might be SOL.
Oh, totally. And I remember being in school, like grade school, and hearing learning about the judicial system, and our teacher saying, well, if you can't afford a lawyer, the government will provide you one. And being like, oh, cool. So, like, everybody is equal.
Great. Yeah. Free, great lawyer.
No.
That's good. No.
If you're rich, you have a much better chance of getting off because you have the ability to hire a better lawyer. And Alonzo is unfortunately seeing this firsthand, and Tony as well. Like, they're not wealthy. And if they put all their money into a private attorney
and it doesn't work,
and then it doesn't work, even if it does work, then they have no money, and they're just totally screwed over on all fronts. It's really eye-opening, and I think this is a great story that we're being told. And I think John Ridley is doing a nice job really hitting all the elements of these people's lives.
Well, and the reality of, yes, even right now he has his shop, but we saw, I mean, it's slow. Business is slow because I would think because of the case. Even though he said we have dedicated customers, and the guy said, listen, I don't want to hear about your past customers. I want to know reality. It's dead right now. So what is that? So it's not going to be easy. Like in reality, one person's choice or anything reflects and affects their entire family, and it ripples throughout, and that's clearly what we're seeing.
And it was part of his TV interview as well, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's why he was like, oh, I'm in the legal. Like, he kind of made a jab at him.
Yeah. Man,
I mean,
it's so depressing.
Yeah, it really is.
This whole show, it's so good.
Everyone's helping themselves, but also trying to help other people, especially when we look at Aaliyah and Carda. Oh my God, my Boston accent just came out real Carda.
So Boston.
I was looking at Carda. But, Aaliyah's sitting there, and Ruth walks into her office. Shocking, first of all.
Yeah.
I know,
Never
I couldn't
did I
believe
think
that.
these two people would be. Ruth is Aubrey's mother, if y'all don't know. And she wants to talk to Carter. Now, immediately, what did you guys think? Let her? Don't let her? Good idea? Bad idea?
I initially thought bad idea. Like, I didn't trust Ruth at first because I didn't know she was going to try to convince Carter to make a confession. I just didn't know how she might try to undermine him. But I really think, and this is my disclaimer. Each time we're introduced to a new character, I have this fascinating, romanticized hope in them that they're going to be the good character. But when she went in and talked to Carter, I really felt like she was speaking not only as Aubrey's mother, but as a mother, like as a mother figure to both of them. So my initial reaction was, don't let her do it, keep her away. But once she actually went in and talked and spoke with Carter, I thought that she made some very poignant statements that were true. And
she did a lot. I mean, stuff happened with Carter and Aubrey in this episode, and I think Ruth was the driving force of that. A lot of that.
I
saw that coming.
You did?
I kind of did. Well, when I first saw her go in, I was like, I don't know. Like, I feel like that was kind of her last resort. Like, and she's just seeing her daughter just make all these horrible decisions, like she said. So,
well, I guess when two people can find the common ground, and the common ground, they both don't want them together, so they would work together. And their back and forth was when Ruth said he's a thief,
he's an enabler,
and she said she's a drug dealer and a liar. I said, well, way to just call it out right here.
Yeah.
I mean,
they were very chill about that. They were like, you're a liar.
I'm pretty torn on whether or not I think, or where I stand on Carter and Aubrey's relationship, because I'm the last person to say or to take a strong point in saying these two people should not be together, and that is my decision to make, because I don't think it is. But also from an outside point of view, they aren't really helping each other in a positive way, and they aren't really allowing themselves to be on positive track. I mean, maybe they will after this, if this was all to blow by, who knows. So do I kind of side with Ruth in getting this over with for both of them? A little bit, to be honest.
I mean, I agree. It's to a certain point. Like, you can't really tell someone who they should or should not be with. But if two people are destroying each other, which I think these two people are, and especially they're being brought to our living rooms every week, so we're gonna have an opinion.
That's very true.
And so Ruth put it very simply, very firmly. You guys don't need to be together because you guys are each other's catalyst for destruction. This is true, but I still keep going back to the point. I really think they genuinely do love each other, and I want to juxtapose that by saying people get married and are together with people in relationships all the time for the wrong reasons. It could be for convenience. It could be because I'm 50 years old. I want a last ditch effort at a baby. Like, people get married all the time or are in relationships all the time for what we might consider the wrong reasons. That doesn't mean that there isn't some level of love. So whether you love them because you're addicted to their personality or to their money or to their fame, it's still a certain level of love. So I hold firmly in the belief that Carter and Aubry love each other. I do too. You know, on some you know part of the spectrum, they have a true adoration for each other. Should they be together? I vote no.
That's good. No, I'm happy you said that because we've discussed that in the past that they're so addicted to each other.
They are. Yes.
And is that any different than love? I mean,
I think it's love.
You know what? I would probably agree with you. They care about each other just as much as two people that love. Yeah, I would agree with you. Taking it back to another Barb and Russ, you know, another set of parents here. Finally, that scene. Listen, I'm gonna talk about everything else first, but that scene when Russ went and talked to Barb.
So sweet.
Come on, and they
Her
bonded.
wall is coming down.
Yeah.
They bonded, and he left her with the line, anything good in your sons is from you.
In other words, don't kill yourself.
Exactly. You know, and you know what?
Her,
I think he is saving her because Nancy had a good point. Nancy found out that Barb had purchased a gun, and I never even thought, maybe for suicide.
Yeah.
And she said, and Russ said she would never kill anyone. She wouldn't. And she said, I don't think that.
I'm not worried about
but
other
maybe
people.
herself.
Yeah.
Well, because
that never
Nancy
crossed my mind.
knows firsthand.
Yeah.
This is an interesting part about that character because I think in a way she's a little underwritten just because like she sort of comes and goes and is
and I'm always like, what is your place? Are you
We're
helping?
like, what's her name again?
Are they even friends? Like, why is she around?
Nancy, what you up in here doing?
I also, have never been in a position where I needed an ally like that as much as Barb does. So whatever. Okay. So, but in tonight's episode was great because she was like, "Hey, I've been there. I tried to kill myself too." But I'm not as strong as Barb. That's why I didn't kill myself. So I think it's a convincing argument. Barb might, if things don't go her way.
Oh yeah.
Matt, it was her everything.
Or if she just gets fed up because she's putting her everything into it, you know, and she even said, "I'm tired. I'm exhausted," and it's only been 4 months.
It's only been 4 months.
Was that not mind blowing when
That
she said that? And I think that again is such a great eye opener of seeing how much of a toll this takes on somebody.
Trials.
4 months.
And she hasn't really had
haven't
time
gone
to
anywhere.
grieve.
I thought about that also.
Yeah.
You know, she hasn't had time to just close up in her room and just cry her eyes out. She's had to, fight the legal system or, try to get justice for her son and just whatever. All these different, goings on that have been happening. I haven't seen her have 1 second to just be a mother who loves her son.
Yeah, what'd she do? Like, have fun? No. What's she going to do? No.
Yeah.
Right, you almost, and I feel like at moments like that, and I'm sure some of us have maybe had things like this, you almost feel wrong to have moments of happiness or moments of joy, and you feel guilty about that because how could you possibly be, and I think there's a little bit of that going through, but also it's not making it easy when she has to always be reminded in the media and every day that she has to go to court.
Yeah.
And now the judge has said, listen, I understand we all want to wrap this up really quickly, but I'm going to take my time in weighing the evidence because of how important this is to the public and how much, we need a correct decision made here.
I thought it was really interesting that Mark wasn't present for the trial. I think he's just checked out with his family.
He is like so done. He wasn't even in this episode.
He wasn't at all.
I don't blame him. I don't.
No, I feel like he needs to be there for his family.
I don't, honestly.
His family's nuts.
I think that Russ, though, out of everyone, I just have such a soft spot for him. I don't know why. I just think that he's trying, and he's like, I've said it before, he's acknowledged his past, and he's trying to make amends for his past actions. And it's sad to me that Mark can't see that and can't.
I don't think he
even begin to try. It's like he's not even trying though to rebuild any type of relationship with his father.
I think if I was in Mark's position, I would trust my dad after he rebuilt the house.
Okay, and so to that point, as you watched the show, you could see the painter's tape and all the different construction projects he had, and I just thought that was a beautiful metaphor for how he's rebuilding the house, he's rebuilding his life.
Yeah, definitely.
So artsy.
And I'm just thinking,
that's so true.
That's a good point.
We talked about second chances and when do you allow someone back into your life who's, hurt you continuously. And I wish that Mark had been there because, when you don't have forever with your family members, your loved ones. And this is such a pivotal point in this family's life.
And you can't choose your family.
You can't choose your family. You can't choose your parents. And he's really making a concerted effort to be a better person, not just a better father.
Right.
And I really do wish that Mark would be more empathetic to that.
Here's my thing. I completely agree that Russ is trying to rebuild himself and he is showing signs that you can trust him and he is rebuilding himself. But in defense of Mark, listen, just because he is not in this zoo of a media craze thing that's happening, I don't think that means he does not support them or want to see things rebuilt. I think he's just not subjecting himself to the craziness that might be fueling the negative feelings towards his parents. Okay. Maybe just saying, let this go and we'll work on it after.
Yeah, and it takes a lot more than a couple months to rebuild.
And 20, what month did he even come in there?
Years of neglect from his father and racism and just general terrible things from his mother.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's a slow process, and I do think rebuilding that house is going to prove that Russ can manage money, finances, can be there for his family,
is supportive.
Metaphorically, get through this process. And I think that I don't think Russ will be left out to dry for much longer.
I hope not.
Yeah,
Please, someone give this man a job.
Well, you know what? No, I agree, and I think that also the scene with him and Barb is going to be I think she's going to be open to him because at this time I think she needs somebody. When she was sitting there with Nancy and it almost seemed like she wanted to talk about the gun. She was calling out for help in a way that I would think. If you're sitting with someone and they keep saying, yeah, that's my gun. Yeah, I know how to use that gun. It wasn't like she was asking any of those questions.
Yeah.
So I take that as a little bit of a call to help.
Okay.
One thing that we quickly passed over was the Gwen.
I was just going to say.
Were you going to say
Gwen? Gwen.
Gwen
I always forget about her.
Was getting... You know what? That's a good point because I have found myself thinking... I'm surprised they didn't do more with this character.
Yeah, she's kind of just
her name has a huge role, but she never really gave us or offered anything.
But wouldn't it be too easy? Because she was there. She was a part of the crime scene. The crime was committed on her. So I think it would be too easy if she was able to speak and say, "Yeah, guys, guess what happened to me this night? Carter did it," or
it would turn into Law and Order and just giving them the facts.
The memory loss kind of helped.
Yeah,
in a way.
Yeah, and it's realistic. I mean, she's really messed up, and that's probably. I don't know anything, but this is probably common. It feels realistic. And also, I agree, I know I keep saying this, but I think the point is not who did it, who didn't do it. And if Gwen had an answer, then okay.
End of story.
We wouldn't be able to see how everybody else in the world or in this world reacts based off of did he or didn't he.
Well, also the fact of let's talk about the difference in reactions towards her parents when she's being released from the hospital. Her dad, did you see the face when the nurse is helping her and her mom is helping her going to the wheelchair? Her dad was leaning up against the window. He couldn't even look. The look of disgust on his face.
Because of the past stuff. Remember he read those police records?
Yeah. I think yes and no. And I also think, like he said, diapers.
Yeah.
Understandably, that's tough for any. I couldn't imagine it. And she, like the mother, it's like she was young when she was younger, and and the nurse saying, "Listen, you're gonna have to help her in the bathroom. Let me show you how." And it was so routine for the nurse.
Yeah,
it was really, and her mom was there to do that, and the father's having a little bit of a tough time.
Out to lunch.
Well, Thomas had a difficult time accepting Gwen as the woman that he didn't raise.
Exactly. Yeah.
When he found out that she was promiscuous and that maybe she was a drug addict, now she's gonna be in diapers for and
she doesn't remember it.
Yeah, she does. So this is not his little girl, and this is what he's grappled with the entire show.
I agree.
That's natural. I mean, I understand. Like, Daddy's little girl is getting around a little bit and doing some drugs, and now can't even wipe her own butt. Well, that's hard to deal with.
That's true, and it corresponds with what you always say about forgiveness and when is it time to forgive somebody. Can you forgive someone if they can't even talk about it? If you can't even have that conversation, how selfless does it have to be for you to come to terms without getting any external things and say, I'm going to look past it. I'm going to move on. I'm going to care 100% with my whole heart, avoiding all the past. That takes, I think, a selfless person to do, whatever the factual stuff would be.
I almost kind of feel like it's what you have to do when someone close to you passes away. Like whether if they pass away particularly from something like maybe suicide or being reckless. You just have to, you can't fight with them. You just have to forgive whatever unfinished business you had. So Tom better pretend that she's no longer here and just deal with it and wipe her butt.
Yeah,
and be a father and step in.
It is his daughter at the end of the day.
All right, you guys have any other last thoughts before we get into predictions?
No.
Let's do predictions.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
Where'd we go?
Do we ever go dark?
We did.
Oh my God, I'm missing.
Steve is giving us the royal prediction treatment.
Oh my God,
Thank you.
All right. My prediction?
Let's hear it.
I think that Aubry's story is gonna be correct.
Snaps to you. I would agree.
Because I'm not sure. Part of me doesn't believe this, but I want to make a strong prediction because I'm always like, I think like, the media is gonna get involved.
Either way, something might be
either
me
way,
too.
right.
Yeah.
So I think Aubry's story is almost 100% accurate.
Okay.
I am going to steal your prediction 3/4 of the way. I think that Aubrey's prediction, Aubrey's confession is factual, but I think it's going to be so circumstantial that they won't be able to convict her. That's
fair.
Ooh, that's deep.
Carter will, yeah.
That's good. I'm gonna go with something with Hector. I think because of Aubrey's confession, something's gonna change with his situation and whatever he said, because we didn't, you know how it cut out?
Yeah.
So something's gonna change, and so he might be screwed, so I don't know.
I'm gonna say this. Listen, going on the track record of what we've seen on this show, we are not given what we want. We are not given a happy ending.
No.
And at first, I'm gonna say that Hector, it's not gonna end well. He's going back in jail. He's getting separated from his family. That's that. Because you know what? I think that's the majority and the reality. The reality is not that you get witness protection and everything ends up all happy-go-lucky. That's not it. I think Aubry is telling the truth. I think she's going to go to jail. That's done and done. Carter, I think he will walk.
Even if
I
it
think
was
he'll
defense?
walk and be, yeah, I do.
With
yes.
Aubry?
Yes, I do think it, even if it was defense, because she entered their house.
That's true.
So I don't know how the rules work, but that's what I think. I'm taking strong points like you. That's what I think. If you guys agree or disagree with any of our predictions, make sure to comment below or tweet at us. You can tweet at me, at Nicholas Grava, and where can they tweet at you guys?
You can tweet and Instagram at me at Doug Ventures.
You can find me on Twitter and on Instagram at Erica Renee D.
Hey guys, you can, or bye guys, I suppose. You can Instagram me, you can Facebook me, you can tweet at me.
.com also.
At
Also check
Johnny
out his-
Mangs. Yeah,
Self-marketing.
Yeah, you can find me. I'll be at Gelson's tomorrow shopping for groceries. I'll be.
Stop.
All right, you guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
And Buzz, see you later.
Buzz you later.
I missed it.
I was letting you have your vote.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.